Hello and welcome to a special edition of HDI's monthly webcast, HDI Buyer's Guide Live, Expanding the Influence of Service and Support Management. I'm Roy Atkinson, HDI's Senior Writer and Analyst, and we're excited to bring back this unique format to help you in your service management tool selection process. In the interest of strengthening alignment with overall business objectives, technical service and support organizations are streamlining their support models by blending the service desk and desktop support, enhancing remote and mobile support, bolstering shift-left strategies, and more. At the same time, they're increasingly being asked to serve as a single point of contact for all business services. So let's welcome our sponsors, Samanage, EasyVista, and Cherwell Software, all of whom have been serving the industry for years now, and they're bringing their solutions to you today. Representing EasyVista is Elizabeth Thomas, Product Marketing Director, who has an extensive background in IT product marketing and product management. From Samanage, we have Oz Merchant, Director of Customer Success. Oz has over 10 years in the software as a service industry and is responsible for creating and maintaining the Samanage community. From Cherwell, we welcome Luke Smith, Senior Solutions Architect, and Luke is an ITIL v3 expert and certified project manager who is passionate about helping IT departments become successful. We will be recording today's session, and it will remain available here in the webcast theater until October 15th, when it will be posted in the HDI webcast archives. If you need help, don't hesitate to click on Help to chat with Expo support staff who are standing by. That's right up at the top, as you can see on your screen. And if you have questions for the presenters, you can see the question box right below the presentation area. Type your question in there, click Submit, and we'll address the questions after all three providers have had the opportunity to present. We've left time for that at the end of the presentation section today. It is a busy agenda today. So we'll have the presentations from 1 to 2 p.m., including questions and answers. And then from 2 to 2:45, these times are all Eastern, by the way, 2 to 2:45, we'll do booth crawl in the Expo Hall. You can go down, visit the booths, talk to the folks there, chat with them, look at what they have to offer, ask the experts some questions, and then you'll want to circle back to the lounge at 2:45 p.m. for prize giveaways. And we have some excellent prizes today. We've got a Fitbit from EasyVista, a Samsung Galaxy 5S from Samanage, and Beats Tour headphones from Cherwell. And HDI is giving away a free registration to Fusion 14, October 19th to 22nd at the Gaylord National in DC, and that is almost a $2,000 value there, so that's a great prize. Good luck with those, all of them. Great prizes, and thank you for the prizes to the sponsors. In addition to being able to chat with your peers today inside the environment here, you can also continue the conversations at HDI Connect, where you can ask a question, read a blog, and find a solution. In our LinkedIn groups, we have several. And also on Twitter with the hashtag ThinkHDI. You can follow the conversation, add to the conversation, and look for answers. So to start off today, we have a quick poll, just to find out why you're here. So your organization is currently looking for a new ITSM tool, it's considering expanding service management, or just that you want to know what's going on in the industry and you want to pay attention to what these folks have to say. And we'll show the results in just a few seconds. Okay? Well, let's see how you did. Well, about a quarter of you are looking for an IT service management tool. Very small percentage is expanding service management outside of IT. And we'd like to know what's going on in the industry. That's about the other 3/4. So that's great. We hope that we have some great information for you today, and we hope you get a lot out of it. So just some thoughts to consider as you're looking around for a new tool and listening to what's being said today. You want to think about the company vision as each solution provider presents it. philosophy of how they're approaching IT service management, any key innovations that they have, any competitive advantages they have, product insights, and customer experience, very important these days. So let's get right into it so that we have time at the end for all your questions. And we'll start off with Oz Merchant from Samanage. Oz, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Roy. I appreciate you having me here today to give our take on the future of ITSM. To give you guys a little bit of background on Samanage in case you haven't heard of us before, we're the fastest growing SaaS ITSM vendor globally. And the big reason for that is we offer the only true multi-tenant unified cloud service desk and asset management solution out there. With over 500 customers and growing 250% year over year, we're actually based in Cary, North Carolina, and support kind of North America as our largest market, but we do have customers in 48 countries and support 42 languages. So in addition to our fast growth, we've also received quite a bit of recognition in the industry this year. The one we're probably most proud of was being named a finalist for the IT Service and Support Award with Service Desk Institute, which is entirely based on customer nominations, so that's pretty cool. And we've also been named one of the top global 250 private companies by Always On, and actually also named us as an on-demand top 100 ones to watch, an award for the SaaS space, and we were a Red Herring 100 finalist as well. So been quite a busy year for us. So as far as where we see ITSM going, there's probably 5 key areas that we've identified in ITSM that are really influencing our roadmap. The first one being enterprise-wide service management. IT is not the only service provider in an organization. A lot of other functional areas have services to deliver, and managing that through a shared inbox is just simply not efficient. And technology that's not technical is really kind of key here. That's why we're kind of really religious about maintaining a simplicity in our solution. And we find that simplicity is critical to adoption across the organization and for IT to feel confident vouching for tools that deliver efficiencies in other departments and really across the enterprise. Another area is BYOD. I'm sure we've all been hearing that. And as the trend kind of moves towards mobile, organizations are scrambling to stay on top of these assets. And BYOD really makes this more difficult as people are hopping on and off corporate networks with their iPads and then really demanding IT to support any of the problems they run into on those networks. So IT really needs a better way to track the time and the resources dedicated to support each of these personal devices. Benchmarking is another component. One of the big business trends is the ability to capture or capitalize on big data to run your businesses more efficiently. And service management is really no different here. And because we're a multi-tenant solution, we actually aggregate the data of all our customers in one database. And making this data meaningful is really what benchmarking is all about. So IT can have the right kind of data at their fingertips to see how their KPIs stack against their industry peers. So this is an area that's currently kind of under development for us, and we kind of see that as a key differentiator as we kind of move forward. IT as a service broker, this is kind of really speaking to the role of IT evolving. No longer are they a cost center that needs to be minimized. They're becoming the strategic partner of all things technology to really make the businesses run smoother. In fact, they're probably being perceived as the internal technology consultants kind of commissioned to find the right tools for the organization. And the trend there, has certainly shifted to the cloud to find those tools without creating any additional work for themselves. There's no need to manage SAP or SQL servers if they don't have to. And lastly is knowledge management. And with organizations running a lot leaner over the last few years, requiring each employee to become a knowledge worker per se, we see knowledge management as a twofold process. One, to capture and retain important IT knowledge in a single repository so it's not being lost with employee turnover. And the other is for the end user consumption, where in this kind of Google, Wikipedia age, folks are wanting to find the answers themselves. They just need a platform to make that whole process a whole lot easier. So, there are a handful of things that are unique about Samanage that enable companies to capitalize on these emerging trends and opportunities in ITSM. Business is changing rapidly, and IT need to be agile to support these changes. Samanage helps IT deliver that by being able to provide instant value. Now, our customers are operational immediately and able to go live inside of a matter of days, which is a lot less time than it takes to even evaluate other solutions. And the way we look at it is technology should never be kind of getting in the way. Basically, when you're ready, Samanage is ready. So as IT is helping other departments to streamline their processes, code-free customization also helps them make tweaks on the fly to tailor to those needs. And we've also designed the solution be ITIL ready and designed in a way that has that level of sophistication that you need without any of the unnecessary complexities. So with the ITIL processes in place and benchmarks to know which kind of KPIs should really matter, the end result is IT can keep delivering results on a repeated basis. So building a simple and intuitive solution is really at our core as well. We've made the solution so easy to use, customers are able to achieve significant productivity gains because really everything just takes a whole lot less time. And usability becomes even more important when you start thinking about extending outside of IT to areas like HR, finance, facilities, and other functional areas that are really able to quickly adopt and gain incremental value for the organization with little or no training at all, essentially. Now, from a product development perspective, Samanage is always new, just like your Facebook or Gmail. We've got a continuous deployment approach, which essentially means that IT is not getting bogged down with one more thing on their plate, one more thing to manage. They're basically that whole process of worrying about planning for new releases and the impact it's going to have on the environment. We really kind of take all that off their plate, and as each feature becomes ready, we basically make it live in your account. So finally, as I mentioned earlier, we've built both the service desk and asset management solution together on the same platform. So you're essentially using one UI for both. And the way you can really quickly and easily connect the dots between the people, the assets, the mobile devices, both your BYOD ones and your corporate issued ones, as well as your service desk. And this starts becoming that single repository, or the single repository starts becoming kind of essentially your backbone for knowledge management. Now, there are probably some other vendors that can do some of what we do, but there really isn't any other vendor that's able to deliver on all of those points, and that's kind of what makes us so unique. So I'll also touch on some of the innovations that help kind of stand us apart as well. User profiles is something we launched earlier in the year, and the idea there is you can click on a particular person's profile and see all the tickets, problems, changes, any of the ITIL stuff, plus all their asset information. So this becomes great for any offboarding. Essentially, you could hover over the profile and see that you've given this person a laptop, docking station, 2 monitors, and a key card, and you're basically wanting to see exactly what you need to get back before you let them go, essentially. The other areas is the integrations. We're a cloud company, and we tend to play well with other cloud applications. So we have currently an integration with Google Apps and Citrix GoToAssist, but we'll also be adding Office 365 and remote support apps like LogMeIn and BombGuard. Plus, there's another application out there called Zapier. It's a third-party app which helps us connect to 300 or so other cloud apps as well. So from HR applications to finance, accounting software. So that just makes it a whole lot easier to integrate with kind of the whole SaaS sphere. Another thing we recently added in, so we've had warranty information for HP, Dell, Lenovo, but we also added in Apple, so really to kind of cover the 4 key vendors. And this becomes really useful. We're coming up on the end of Q4 here, or starting Q4, and the end of the year. And basically, the IT professionals, businesses, kind of leaders in the IT department can start thinking about, okay, what do I want to do for 2015? I've got, say, maybe 50 computers that are going to be end of warranty. Do I want to basically, replace those, or do I just buy an extended warranty for an additional year and kind of keep them for 4 years? Well, having all this information at your fingertips allows kind of the CIOs and such to start making those decisions, business decisions essentially, with the data at their fingertips. So another cool area we've been developing on is the mapping, where we've really kind of taken the asset information and overlaid it on top of a map. Now, this is not kind of designed for theft detection or prevention even, but it does kind of help. I mean, if you're an organization that's kind of based in the East Coast and no one's taking a vacation out to Alaska, and you start seeing an asset reporting back from there, that kind of tells you something. Mobile asset management is another area. This kind of ties back to what we're talking about, the BYOD, and we have an agent for iOS and Android to really help manage that asset, but also for IT to start associating tickets to those devices. So essentially, you can start seeing, how much time and effort is being spent to support those devices. Now, some of the stuff that's coming up, we've got things like the activity feed. And basically, that's a Twitter, Facebook-like feed where, the IT team can really start managing 90% of their daily activities from this kind of single feed. So this is in addition to kind of the traditional incident queue, but this is giving the kind of the service desk technician the ability to kind of change assignees, states, priorities, due dates, and kind of make all those comments in a matter of seconds. It's just a lot easier to kind of navigate through than kind of the traditional ticket method. Benchmarks, as I mentioned earlier, are kind of under development. It's a kind of a key area that we're looking to grow in. And essentially here, the boss asks that, should we move to Windows 8? The IT person can basically check the benchmarks and find out that, okay, well, 30% of the community has moved there. Maybe we should wait, or maybe we want to be early adopters and make the move now. On the ticketing side of things, that could also mean that, if the average community ticket resolution time is 4 hours, and your department is knocking it out in 3 hours, perhaps that's just the kind of justification you need for a raise. Now, the other area, for us, is interesting to see that poll feedback. For us, it's kind of really growing is beyond IT, and our customers are moving in that direction. And as we've been listening to kind of their needs, we're really making some changes into our workflow engine to really address that and help them run multiple service desks inside of a single environment. So that's a key area that we're looking to move into. So speaking of customers, our customer base, we tend to be industry agnostic and have customers of all sizes. But the ones that really tend to be attracted to us are the ones that are kind of growing, where IT is strategic and are usually either global or at least multi-location. And as I mentioned, the growing outside of IT, we're seeing probably about 40% of our customer base that are using it outside of IT, into areas like HR, facilities, marketing, as well as finance. To kind of give you an example, First Care is a a Texas health plan provider where they replace ServiceNow with Samanage across their whole organization. So that's really IT plus 10 additional departments. So, when we're talking about enterprise service management, we kind of see this as a kind of prime example of that. And it's important to kind of also note, for an organization this size, they were able to kind of go live inside of 45 days. So if you kind of see down here on one of the quotes, the idea of kind of Samanage not being over-engineered, has a lot to do with that, making things simple and easy to use and intuitive as well. MediFit is another example, which actually you guys can see. We did a recent webinar with Siobhan. We made that available at the booth. And she's been a strong advocate for functional branding of IT, which is basically this idea of IT as a broker. She made the switch from BMC's Track It as her initial step. And, she had the vision. She just really needed the right tools to go along with it. And with Samanage, she was able to decrease her IT operating costs by 65%, and then turn around and was able to help kind of procurement, HR, and finance streamline their processes as well by helping them understand that each kind of department is essentially a service provider to the rest of the organization, and essentially they can use Samanage as a kind of window to all their kind of end users and consumers of their service. So she just really needed IT as the proving ground to kind of sell it to the other departments. So I think I'm probably just about out of time here, and I know we'll have questions here at the end. So I thank everyone for listening to at least our take on what we think ITSM is headed, and we certainly hope you'll stop by the booth for some more information. And thanks to you, Roy, for this opportunity. Really appreciate that. And I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks very much, Josh. Great job. And next, we're going to move right into the presentation from Elizabeth Thomas from EasyVista. And so, Elizabeth, you can take it away.
Thanks, Roy, and good to hear the story from Samanage as well as. First off, thank you for inviting me. Today I will start out by talking a little bit about the top challenges that we see here at EasyVista impacting IT organizations. I'll then introduce you to our product family and explain a little bit about each of our products and how they can address these common challenges that we're seeing out there. And then I'll talk about some of the benefits that you might get from implementing a solution such as EasyVista, and I'll tell you a little bit about our organization as well. So to start, IT, we're seeing it really becoming a part of the organization that touches everything within the business in a very impactful way. And because of this, IT organizations are really facing much more complex challenges, and if those challenges aren't addressed, they can really impact the business, the entire business, in a negative way. So each department across your organization, if you think about it, delivers some sort of service. And in order for them to deliver their services and reach what their individual goals might be, it's likely that they're probably relying pretty heavily on services or multiple services that are provided by IT. So for example, think about the sales department and the services that they're delivering, the facilities department, HR, customer support, finance, and really any other department that you might have. They're relying on services such as email, internet access, various systems that IT might support, and software that IT might provide in order to deliver their services to their customers. Because IT is so deeply involved with all of these various business units across the organization, of course the challenges will vary, but most commonly we're seeing challenges around customer expectations are changing, and they're really expecting IT to deliver on services based on their ever-changing needs. So BYOD and so on and so forth. Also, the scrutiny that IT is facing to ensure that they're providing some sort of business value. So the business is watching IT closely, and we hear about that IT business alignment. So IT making sure that they're providing that business value. And then also the increasingly complex nature of IT that's coming from mobile technology and different compliance frameworks and so on and so forth. And then, of course, all of the emerging concepts that are rising, such as gamification, crowdsourcing, nexus of forces, all of these things that we're hearing about. So IT service management is really about more than simply delivering basic technology service nowadays. It's about delivering those services, but also delivering those services and paying attention to a much more tech-savvy audience with much more advanced needs. In addition to that, there's other changes that are intensifying all of these challenges. So devices are evolving and maturing, best practices are evolving, and organizations have to choose what best practice they're going to follow. Is it ITIL? Is it Six Sigma? Is it COBIT? And then people have also evolved, so you're dealing with much more technically advanced end users. So in order to address a lot of these challenges, IT will need to make some adjustments in order to improve their service delivery. So updating end user interfaces, starting to support and utilize cloud technology, support for more and more mobile devices and tablets, and then just delivering all of these services and making these adjustments along the way. And when IT organizations are making these changes and making these improvements, they have to keep that human element in mind. So what do their customers want? What will help them do their job better? These are really the questions that IT departments should be focusing on as they're making changes to the organization and the services that they're offering. Now, if the IT department doesn't choose to address all of these challenges that we've mentioned, there are some risks that might come along with that. For example, services might be unavailable, which of course leads to your end users being dissatisfied. And then when your customers are dissatisfied, the needs of the organization aren't met, they're not able to do their jobs, and then essentially the business probably won't be able to compete very well, and ultimately that really does impact revenue. So that's how it can really impact the bottom line of an organization. Now that I've gone through some of these challenges that we're seeing through our customers and people that we're dealing with, I'll introduce our family of products. We have EasyVista Service Manager, EasyVista Service Apps, and EasyVista Click to Get. And our solutions really have been designed to address all of these challenges that I mentioned earlier. So to start off, just talking about EasyVista Service Manager, it's our service management solution, and with this we offer integrated IT service and asset management functionality. And the solution supports the entire gamut of ITIL processes, and we're verified by Pink Elephant. And really, we specialize in global organizations that are supporting multiple time zones and multiple languages. So within the solution, all of the functionality is there to support lots of languages and different time zones based on where your employees and staff are located. Then if we talk about EasyVista Service Apps, this is our fully integrated designer that allows the IT department to actually create customer-facing apps. And these are personalized interfaces that can contain elements from various systems that your department or your customers might be relying on. So you can really create unique customer environments. You're able to build these apps to contain widgets, and each of these widgets can pull data from various data sources. So it's very strong from an integration standpoint. So some examples of this might be a traditional IT service request interface that contains a service catalog, and we're calling this an IT service store because it really does take the service catalog to another level. It involves a lot more than just a service request catalog. And then you could also create, for example, another service request portal that's specifically designed for another department in your organization that might need to offer some services. So, for example, the facilities department. Then the facilities department can allow their end users to request services. In addition to those types of service apps, you can create dashboards using the service apps functionality. And these dashboards can contain various business metrics, and those metrics might come from within EasyVista or from within other data sources that you're relying on. So you can really pull all of these metrics into one dashboard. And you can create as many dashboards as you want. So you might have a dashboard that is relevant to your IT staff. You might have another dashboard that's showing metrics that are relevant to the executives. So you can really create these based on exact needs of your customers that you're servicing. And then the next part of our product family that I want to mention is EasyVista Click to Get. And this is a tool that offers on-demand software installation from within the service catalog. So customers who are looking for a particular software application can go into the service catalog, they can see what's available to them, and then they can request that application and immediately download it to their computer. So there's no wait for service desk staff to actually install the software for them. So the IT department can package trusted applications, and then those applications can be delivered on demand to the end users. Now that's just a brief introduction to each of our products within our solution family, and each of these solutions are designed to work together, so they're fully integrated, and they're also designed to be very simple to configure and manage, and that's really one of our differentiators, and many of our customers actually choose EasyVista because of our codeless technology and the ability to configure without writing any code or script. So it saves a lot of time and money, of course. I also want to mention the ability to support what we call organization and customer service management. And this is the ability to allow organizational units, so those various departments outside of IT, utilize the EasyVista solution to deliver their services as well. So you're able to extend the exact same solution to those other departments, because if you think about it, services are services. Then those departments can create their own customer front-end interfaces so that their particular customers can interact with them. They can set up different processes and workflow, different users, different forms that are strictly associated with their specific department. And this can all be done using that single solution, so it can really offer some benefit outside of IT and justify some of the costs. So some of the benefits of EasyVista that I'd like to recognize: with EasyVista, you'll certainly be able to provide the modern, user-friendly customer interface that your customers and end users are looking for and expecting, and that can be available on any device that you might be supporting. You'll also have a choice to implement on-premise or in the cloud, so our solution is the same regardless of what platform you choose. There's a lot of choices that you can make. Then if we talk about our EasyVista Service Apps functionality, that supports that more flexible customer experience. So you'll be able to help impact and improve customer satisfaction, because you're really able to personalize that customer engagement. And then finally, with EasyVista Click to Get, you'll be increasing the control of applications that are going out on your network, and customer satisfaction will be impacted there because they'll have immediate access to the different software applications they might need to do their job. They don't have to wait for those. So we'd like you to keep in mind that our main difference is how we deliver IT service management, so that ability to codelessly configure EasyVista is going to save you a lot of time and money over some of the other products that are out there. Also, the choice of on-premise or in the cloud, and the ability to switch at any time. So if you want to start using one platform, maybe in the cloud, and then bring it on-premise in the future, very easy to do. And then one of the biggest things that we're hearing about is that customer engagement that I mentioned a moment ago, and making sure that you're able to engage with your customers as their expectations are changing and as their needs are changing, which is happening so quickly out there with all the technology that's available. So they're expecting services from IT to be delivered as if they were consumer services like Amazon or Zappos. So our service apps functionality allows you to take that customer engagement to that new level and provide that consumerized type experience for your end users, something that IT departments definitely have or struggle doing. So with that said, I just want to tell you a little bit about the EasyVista organization. We've been around for over 20 years, and we focus solely on IT service and asset management. We have loads of customers who've been with us for well over 10 of those years. And we've been available in the cloud since 2005. So we've been doing cloud technology for quite a bit of time. And we also have offices around the world with our headquarters in New York and Paris. We also have 10 certified data centers and 2 cloud management centers, and those cloud management centers are kind of like NOCs, and they support our SaaS infrastructure, make sure it's secure. They're constantly running tests on it to make sure we're offering the highest availability. And these data centers and cloud management centers are available around the world. They're located around the world, and they're available 24/7. So we really pride ourselves on having very good availability. To tell you a little bit about our services offerings, our consultant and partner community is over 300. We have over 300 certified partners delivering our solution, and they're of course certified in a variety of disciplines, including ITIL, of course. So we have a lot of ITIL experts out there, and they each attend EasyVista's intense classroom training courses and field training prior to their certification, so they're well versed in EasyVista before we send them out there to the customers. They follow a very structured model in order to ensure all of the needs of the customer are met, and to carry them from the customers from the time they purchase EasyVista all the way through the life of their relationship with our organization. And I'd just like to also, before I finish up here, introduce you to our Customer Success Network. This has been a really great value-added service that we've provided to our customers. It's been very popular. We have over 830 customers using EasyVista worldwide, and they're using it in different areas of the organization. So they're using it in IT. They're also expanding it to those other departments, such as HR and facilities and such. And you'll likely recognize some of the names here. But as far as the value-added services go, we invite all of our customers to join this Customer Success Network, and we host regular meetings and events that bring our customers together so that they can network with one another. They're able to share what they're doing with the product and what they're doing in IT in general, so they can really learn from one another's successes, share best practices, and really help each other improve the IT services that they are delivering specifically. They also get access to news and member benefits and different events that are going on. We often bring customers along to speak at different events, so it helps us and it helps them as well get some exposure. And of course, most important, our CSN members are very involved in our product roadmap and the future development of the solution. So we gather their feedback, we talk with them, and find out what they're doing with the solution and how we can improve to really help them out, and that's proved very successful. So I think that's my last slide here, and I'm just about out of time. So thank you so much for letting me speak here. We're raffling off the Fitbit with HDI, so we invite you to visit our booth and contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. That's terrific information. And we will move right along again, trying to keep this with ample time at the end for questions, and we do have some questions coming in. And next up is Luke Smith from Cherwell Software, and you can take it away, Luke.
Thank you very much, Roy. I appreciate that. And thank you for inviting Cherwell to participate in this. So we'll move on. Going to give you a bit of information about Cherwell, where we come from, who are we, and talk about software, talk about some of the key challenges, and also how we can meet some of those challenges with Cherwell. Cherwell was founded in 2004. We actually have a lot of history in the IT service management space. Many of our founders came from other companies in that space. Currently, right now, 1,200 plus customers globally, worldwide. I think we're in 53 different countries. We are privately held. One of our key philosophies is maintaining our ability to service our customers and make sure that we're able to do that without necessarily having to report back to Wall Street. Financially, we are debt-free. Another one of our key philosophies is not being constrained by debt. We recently announced the acquisition of Express Metrics, a leader in the software asset management and IT asset management space. So we are currently in the process of integrating that tool set. Globally right now, we're, again, as I mentioned, in 53 different countries. I think we're supporting 5 or 6 different languages, also with data centers all over the world, UK, Australia, US, Canada. And actually, for a complete list of those, you can check our website. We're adding data centers pretty much all the time. The organization is also focused on helping IT to become a true business partner, and it's one of the things that everybody's kind of mentioned. We've kind of touched on it. IT is being asked to do more with less. We're forced to really become the trusted advisor and try to help the business to meet its goals. And what struggles we often face are just shadow IT, the unofficial deregulation of IT, and buried with just keeping the lights on, gaps in our IT staff, and then just trying to again conquer the world with a very small budget. And so Cherwell offers many things that help us to deal with that. Our brand new 5.0 product releases a bunch of key functionality for us. MAP functionality, which actually stands for mergeable applications. Basically, Cherwell's a codeless platform, and what MAPs give us the ability to do is to seamlessly extend that platform without, again, having to write code, so codeless tool set, but also it integrates those new applications seamlessly into the existing system. So it analyzes what you have and then just merges that in there again without you having to do a lot of coding or writing any scripting or of any sort. So huge for us. We've also got a map exchange. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move on. Business intelligence, dashboards, and metrics. Cherwell's always done really well in that. We've been rated extremely highly by most of the analysts for business intelligence and dashboards and metrics. In 5.0, we introduced a new capability that we're calling metrics. And what it does is it allows the organization to define what are the key performance indicators that matter to them. Of course, the system comes with hundreds of these out of the box based on ITIL. But once I've defined metrics, the classic thing that I run into with metrics is, or with dashboarding is, it's very labor intensive and time consuming to create, as well as performance intensive. Often we have to have separate servers just for dashboarding and reporting. With Cherwell metrics, those metrics collect their data in one single place and then distribute them for everything that's using them, from reports to forms to dashboards. So it dramatically increases the performance of the system, as well as kind of homogenizes what we're reporting and how we do it. We've got brand new iOS and Android apps. We've added a great amount of functionality to our browser applications. We also have, again, extended the use of IT beyond just IT service management out into the organization. The vast majority, actually greater than 50% of our customer base, are using Cherwell outside of IT, and we even have customers that aren't using it for IT service management at all. So the platform is very extensible, very easy to use, very easy to configure. As we move on here, we'll talk a little bit more deep dive. So there's a brand new site called the Map Exchange. It is available from Cherwell's website. Would encourage you to check it out. The Map Exchange will be where partners and customers and Cherwell themselves can create map applications and share them amongst our partner community. So we have a vibrant partner community that is creating these, as well as a large developer network both in the US and abroad that are creating maps based on their specific areas of expertise. Also, integrations. So what we've done is made integrations much easier by creating a central list, and again, the ability to just go out and grab integrations via Maps and or the integration Map Exchange or store. Here I can see a list of just a handful of integrations that we're doing. What this does is, common integration points. We want people to be able to just go grab that, apply those integrations, and then go. So ease of use and management are key here. Also, we talked about dashboards. What we're seeing is that organizations have to move beyond just the simple reporting of data. They need to really be able to see what's actionable about the data. And one of the things that I kind of do is, if I was to throw out 4 numbers, 10, 2.5, 45, and 100, without some reference point to say, well, is a lower number better, is a higher number better, without understanding where that is, those numbers are meaningless. And this is not just about presenting numbers. This is about presenting information that's actionable and that I can make decisions on. So you'll notice here in this, and I apologize for it being somewhat small, but Cherwell's dashboards dynamically change based on thresholds and criteria that you set. What number is the right number for you? What are your goals for improving your metrics? First call resolution rate, SLA metrics. What Cherwell allows you to do is then set those thresholds, and then the system will tell you, is it red, is it green, is it amber? Where are those actual metrics at, and where are our goals to be met? So really helps dashboards to become the center place of gathering information and not just traditional reporting, but really making it a business decision tool. Also, Cherwell has, as I mentioned, that metrics, so allows me to define those key performance indicators, set thresholds as we've discussed, reuse and repurpose metrics to save time and homogenize everything. So once I've built a metric once, whether I'm sharing that in one organization or I've leveraged Cherwell across multiple organizations in multiple languages, those metrics can be shared across the entire architecture and platform. So it really gives you the ability to build it once, don't reinvent the wheel 50 times. Makes it easier to use the system. Our mobile browser and native applications, Cherwell has a native iOS. We also have native Android applications. These tool sets, again, come with the product. So Cherwell has a breadth of clients from Windows-based clients to browser-based clients, mobile clients, and also an Outlook plugin client. And easy licensing. So concurrent users across the entire platform, you could be logged into all of the clients, still only consuming one license. So easy to use. All clients come with the tool set. There's no additional fees for that. And our mobile clients offer things like GPS-based location awareness. I can assign GPS coordinates to devices and sites, and really anything in the system can have coordinates. And then I can do things like show me assets or show me tickets on Google Maps, and I can even get routing and driving information. We also support barcode scanning, so you can pull up devices in inventory or enter assets into inventory through the barcode scanning. And then our Android app brings out also gesture controls. So each individual user can literally create gestures for their Android client, and those gestures are unique to them. And the ability to do voice, so no longer do I have to sit there and try and type in a small device. I can simply just use the voice to issue commands or enter data into the system. As we move on, also codeless seems to be a fairly ubiquitous thing these days, but codeless is not necessarily always codeless. One of the key things to try and ascertain is, where does the codeless end? With Cherwell, anything in the application can be done codeless, entirely codeless. I never get to that moment where I've got to go and then start writing some Java code or something. Also, another key thing that seems to plague the industry is upgrades. Cherwell has seamless upgrades. I personally, I've been with Cherwell for about 4 years. Prior to that, I was actually a customer of Cherwell's. So I've actually done probably 20 plus upgrades, and I've never had an upgrade break anything that I configured or changed in the application. And typically upgrades are very quick and easy. I've never had one take longer than an hour. So really nice. It means that I've got the assurance that when I make changes and I change the application to meet my business needs, I'm not going to be stuck having to struggle with upgrades. Currently, ITSM Review in 2014 rated Cherwell as the most configurable IT service management solution, according to an independent survey. Cherwell's won many accolades. Actually, last year, the SDI award, I think, was mentioned. Cherwell actually won the Top Vendor of the Year last year for SDI. And we've got numerous accolades. And again, a lot of that stuff, if you're keen to hear it or see it, is on our website. When we look at SaaS, SaaS is a huge portion of Cherwell's customer base and business. We offer 99.98% SaaS availability per customer. We monitor 7 different SaaS systems, checking your data and your systems constantly. Real-time replication of data between our data centers, multiple data centers around the world, And Forrester rated us as a leader in the SaaS marketplace in the 2014 wave. Also, portability, and that's another thing that we're starting to hear more of. Cherwell really kind of was the first one to ever do that. Allow you to choose on-premise or hosted, and then to switch at any time. So it means that I don't have to make a big decision around, am I going to be SaaS or am I going to be on-premise today? I can change in the future. And we also don't penalize you for that, so you can convert your existing contracts to on-premise or hosted at any time. When we also look at customer success, Cherwell's Customer Success Global Conference is actually coming up in next week. It's going to be held at the Broadmoor. We do it every year. 98% customer retention rate. That's massive. And we've been tracking that number since we started selling the product back in 2007. So one of the highest rates in the industry. Excellent customer support, dedicated customer experience team. Cherwell actually has an entire division in the organization devoted to customer success and experience. We actually collect your customer, your goals, and then that team is responsible for making sure that you meet them. Because if you're not maturing the organization, if you're not solving problems, then why are we buying software, right? So that's the key focus for us, and it's one of the reasons we have a 98% customer retention rate. Currently, 40% of our product changes actually come from customers and partner feedback, so it's a major inlet for us. Very, very customer-focused organization. So just some, finally, some key drivers around why Cherwell. Low total cost of ownership, high ROI, very configurable, all-inclusive, scalable solution. We are PINK verified in 11 ITIL processes out of the box. Codeless and social mobile drivers, very easy to use platform and very affordable. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Roy, for questions.
Thanks very much, Luke. I appreciate that. So I think what we're going to do is dive right into a couple of the questions that came from attendees. And Jean-Philippe asks, could you please show the kind of reports you can pull from your solution and how easy it is to produce reports? So I guess I'd answer that by saying, Jean-Philippe, we don't have the ability to actually show the software itself in this venue. But it's certainly a question you could ask at the booths in the expo hall, and they could probably hook you up with a demo or something like that. Okay. This is a good one, and I think that it's on everybody's mind these days. And the question comes from Fran, and she asks, has there been any forward thinking with the BYOD based on the state of California's August 12th ruling that employees in California must be reimbursed for work-related voice calls made on their personal cell phones? It's a little bit more abstract than what we've been talking about today, but does anybody want to make mention of that or talk about how that might change BYOD strategies from your perspective?
I can give that a go.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Yeah. BYOD is actually been, it's not something that's just now we're starting to hear about it. It's actually been something that's been fairly prevalent in people's minds for years now. So part of this is just having the capability in the tool set to collect the information regarding who's using their own device, what devices are being used, and their carriers. Cherwell's been supporting that since really we started selling the software many years ago. So I see that what's really the key thing here is the flexibility in the design of tool sets to be able to enable you to collect that information and then provide the appropriate billing back to the customer. So I think that this is just a really great example of how IT is being asked to manage things that are typically outside of our normal purview. I think it's a great example of the growth of IT in organizations.
Great. Anybody else want to jump in on that one? Okay. I've got a question from Kevin here. Kevin, how are you? How are licenses tracked for self-service portal distribution? I think that's another question that would be better off asked in the booth, so you can compare notes with the various folks down in the expo hall. So I'll move on to a couple of the questions that we thought might be interesting for everybody. The subtitle of today's webcast was Expanding the Influence of Service and Support Management. And notice it doesn't say expanding service and support management. We've talked about that a little bit today in the various presentations about how organizations are expanding IT service management, or just let's call it service management, to areas outside of IT. So, but expanding the influence, does that mean anything in particular to any one of you? Do you want to comment on that?
Sure, I can. I would say that it's talking about, from my point of view, really recognizing that all departments within an organization, regardless of who they are or what they're doing, are delivering some sort of services, whether they're internal or external. So when we talk about IT service management, there's various processes that we're talking about, and those processes don't just have to apply to IT. They can really help other departments deliver their services. And on top of that, tools, such as the tools we've talked about today, can really help support that and automate those processes for not only IT but other departments.
Okay, thanks very much, Elizabeth. I appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, Roy,
sure,
I would add to this is Oz. You know, it's interesting the trend we're seeing with you know, adoption outside of IT. You know, most times when we think of ITIL, it's kind of really in the IT space, but if you kind of peel that back and look at it from really a process perspective, we've been kind of, you know, from a customer success standpoint, kind of influencing, you know, our IT kind of contacts to basically help their other departments understand that it's really about processes, and ITIL is just kind of, you know, a naming convention, but it's really this, there's a process framework behind it that can really apply to any department to help kind of streamline and create more efficiencies. And once they can start thinking along those lines, then they can better kind of consult internally to the other departments as well, so that it's not just IT oriented, but it's really process efficiencies.
Thank you. There's a question here from Jerry, and it's kind of an interesting question. Do you believe IT service management should be doable without a tool? And maybe I'm going to take a stab at saying that maybe tool agnostic. In other words, you might want to find a tool that fits best with the processes that you've defined, but it doesn't depend on any particular tool. Does anybody want to take a stab at that one?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that with enough time and money, anything is possible. You know, one of the things that when you look, and this presentation is actually a really good example. You look at the marketplace, and all of us compete. Largely, there's fairly little tool differentiation, to be honest, between a lot of these major competitors. And so what we then say is, okay, well then what then makes the criteria for why I should select one tool over another? And we start to get into some of the minutiae, and I really feel for a lot of customers trying to sort through this nowadays, it's not the easiest thing to do. Whereas I would say that yes, you can probably do it if I was to take my Cherwell hat off, you could probably do it with just about any tool. The differences then become in, you know, cost. Obviously, is always on the table for that. But then, how easy is the tool to administrate? How easy is the tool to connect and integrate with other tool sets? You start to have to look at the broader picture. And I think that's good, because what it forces customers to do is to really understand what are they trying to do and get down to, is there a difference that matters, you know, that I can find for these tools? Is one easier to administrate, one easier to integrate? But what we have to do in order to do that is look past just the basics of incident problem change. I hope I've answered that to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Roy, just some thoughts on that as well. You know, it's interesting. From the customer success standpoint, you know, we're working with the kind of adoption and implementation of solutions, and we kind of get to hear the stories of why people, you know, move off of solutions, and or even just kind of whatever they've been getting by with. And you know, I've recently even heard somebody saying they were using Google Apps and figured out a way to create forms and get it into spreadsheets, and then assigning people to that as a kind of a ticketing system. But at the end of the day, it came down to, well, I'm an IT department, and the service desk is really the face of my kind of department to the rest of the organization. And do I want to put my neck on the line with kind of this concoction I put together, or do I want to have something that I can kind of, bank on, essentially? So that's, at some point I think you can get away with just putting together things, but at some point you get to a point where it's really, there's more functionality that's needed, there's kind of the IT's reputation at stake, and basically at the end of the day there's problems to solve and services to deliver, and there's got to be a tool to kind of achieve that.
Hey, great.
I was just going to say I would answer Jerry's question with a yes. Yes, do you believe IT service management should be doable without a tool? And yes, because IT service management is all about processes. So before you even implement a tool, you have to get those processes in place. The tool is just going to make it easier and automate those processes for you.
Hey, great. Thanks very much. We're just out of time, so I just want to let you know that now's the time to, once the presentation here ends, you'll be back in the lounge. Click on the Expo Hall in the top nav bar and visit the booths, and then meet us back here in about 45 minutes. There will be prize drawings, and those are great prizes. And just wanted to let you know that we have upcoming events, of course, Fusion 14, to which you might win a registration. October 7th, Reaching for Excellence, which is going to be our Customer Service Week special event with Shep Hyken, Michael Pace, and Micah Solomon. That is a huge, huge deal. Those are great speakers. And on October 14th, we'll be talking about security in the V-Chapter webcast with Wynn Schwarthouse. So have fun in the Expo Hall, and we'll meet back in the lounge in about 45 minutes, actually 44 minutes. Thanks very much, and have a great day.